game, man. Honestly. Hmm. The last time, the last two times Ferrari scored exactly 5 points in the season opener was when Schumacher's record-leading World Drivers' Championship ends, and that was during 2003. Ferrari scored. Ferrari's already scored only 5 points, and Verstappen's streak has ended for the World Drivers' Championship, and McLaren won. Hallelujah, I'm here.
Oh, thank God for that. Jesus Christ.
See, this game's just retarded like that, honestly. What's the fucking point in allowing other countries to invite folk if it doesn't work?
Praise be to Jesus.
There is no Jesus in this world.
Well, there was. Welcome everybody. Welcome back to the Motive Racing channel for tonight's action here in the Red Arrows Racing League. We're back here on a Monday night for our usual slot here at 8 p.m. UK time. And we're here tonight for a very special type of race here tonight here in Miami. Tonight is going to be a 3-tyre compound race where drivers have to use the soft, medium and hard for at least one stint during the race, which is going to be absolutely fascinating. The first time I've ever seen a race like this on any iteration of the Formula One series, originally by Codemasters, but now obviously by EA. Ian, I think we're in for a bit of a treat here tonight with something a little bit different.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how people plan out their strategy to try and go as long as possible on each tyre, because as we saw from Purple Sector last week, it was a bit of a mixed bag. So it was. A lot of people did pretty well in the mediums, others didn't. But a lot of people did, tend to stay a good bit longer out in the hard, and it worked really well for them. So it's just going to be exactly how the drivers put their tyres into a sequence.
Absolutely. For those of you Red Arrow drivers who are watching this back afterwards, who are wondering obviously what we mean, we did actually commentate last week on a Purple Sector F1 race around this very circuit. So we've got a little bit of knowledge. And one driver who I'm sure will certainly come on for that is C. Faulkner, because he was out there racing last Thursday in that race at Purple Sector. A few drivers in here who will be familiar with Purple Sector, but who don't race in it anymore, like Bo, obviously like Super Striker, I think, as well. Maybe Liam Mez, potentially, I think, might have been in that league as well. can't quite remember if there was any others, but I know a few of the drivers here have raced in that league. But anyway, obviously that knowledge and a bit of wheel knowledge around this track could come in very, very handy indeed for some of these drivers. We're currently riding on board with one of them, C. Faulkner. As he gets it all wrong, they go to the first sector, and that little bit of experience from Thursday night seems to have not really helped him at all there in the early stages of this session. So that's not really the start that he would have wanted here. But nonetheless, plenty of time left in this qualifying session for him to get it together. But we're going to quickly go through the championship standings coming into tonight. So leading the way at the top of the standings is Soggy Cucumber, originally known as Soggy Biscuit, currently on 61 points, 5 points ahead of Super Striker, who is in second place in the standings on 56 points. And then we got Bo in third place in the standings on 50 points, 6 points behind Super Striker, followed by Steely, who is fourth in the standings. And Steely is on 42 points. And you got Corey on 34 points in fifth place in the standings, followed by Joe Lancer, who is in sixth on 32 points. I believe Lancer was a reserve last week. We did see, obviously, got pole in both races. But not here this week. Obviously, reserves don't race every week, as clues in the name reserve. Seventh is Sniper C on 21 points so far in this current campaign here. And then we've got Pappy Geezer in 8th place on 20 points. Pappy Geezer, I can't see the Pappy Geezer's name on the list, so it looks like we're not with us here tonight. Murph is 9th on 19 points, ahead of Northover, who's 10th on 12 points, and the rest of the standings are on the Discord, but we're going to get into the action here as Northover's gone quickest in the session so far on a 1 minute 26.8, 4 tenths of a second ahead of RDB CFC so far, with Super Striker third place on the medium tyres, looking to try and get some running in by the looks of it on those slower, more durable tyres here. As Sniper C goes to the top of the leaderboard there on a 126.3. Geldy currently fourth place, just under a second off of the pace actually. Jordan Healy has just come over in P5 as a ZX10 there into third place. Good lap there from ZX10, not far away at all. What about Soggy Cucumber goes P10, so Soggy Cucumber a long way off on his first ride run of the session. That's obviously plenty to be desired there. Super Striker, Steely went 8th on the medium tyres, so Steely's got a fair bit of work to do. We obviously saw Steely. We thought Steely was going to really play a big hand in last week's race at Hungary. Started on the hard tyres and was very close to the leaders in the Grand Prix itself, but things kind of fell off in the second stint, and the medium tyres were nowhere near as quick as we thought they would be in comparison to the hards, and maybe that'll explain why the medium runners who were ahead of Steely weren't able to pull away in the first stint. But nonetheless, I'm sure we'll be watching with keen interest as to what Steely does. But Meldaf's got into 7th place on that last lap. As things stand, Murph's got into 5th place with his first flying lap of the session. Archie into 12th place, currently 4 seconds off at the fastest time being set there by Sniper C. So Sniper C really laying down a marker so far, Ian. Obviously a 26.3, half a second clear of Northover, 6 tenths clear of ZX Tenor. Although Soggy Cucumber gets pretty close there on a 26.4, only a tenth off.
Yeah, it's a tricky course to try and get a really good lap out of. It's like I said during the last race, but with Purple Sector over here, it's very, very easy to destroy a really good lap time by not getting a good exit out of any corners that lead you onto the middle straight, or the middle fast section, or the back straight, because those two areas can very, very easily destroy your lap times, as well as that chicane towards the back end of Sector 2.
Ian, are you noticing what I've just noticed there?
Why is Archie on the inters?
This is quite bizarre. Obviously, for those of you who don't know, we're now not seeing the same monitor because we're both in a session, so we're both able to free roam the cameras. Obviously, you're seeing it from my perspective, but Ian is free to look at what he wants. But I'm glad that Ian spotted what I've spotted here, because Archie, for some unearthly reason, has decided that these are semi-wet conditions, and he's now coming in to put some dry tyres on. I would have thought, although he could be going for another set of inters, but I wouldn't have thought that'd be very advantageous. Sure. yeah. I reckon the full wets might be just about right here. I reckon we're getting to that phase now. Yeah. Somebody's poured a watering can on the track, and now it's full wet conditions.
He's got water in his seat.
Yeah, some of the Miami homeless decided to go for a wee on the track. But anyway, Bo's gone to the top of the leaderboard there on a 26-1. Wow, Ian, look at that
And that's on
on the
the
mediums.
mediums as well.
That's insane. Well, Mark Bow definitely letting people know that he's on a bit of a mission here in this session. I wonder if could be a bit of a foreshadowing as to what's to come here. This could be a dominant display if Mark Bow can keep up that sort of pace. That is absolutely astonishing there. But we'll have to see
Ooh.
as into the box he
That was
goes.
that was nearly an unsafe release there.
Yeah, it was. It's all automated though, so it'd be very harsh to give him a penalty.
Well, it's up to him when he went out.
Well, the team do release you, don't they? So
Ah,
yeah, it's true.
sacked.
You're getting sacked in the morning. Sacked in the morning. Who was it?
Well, I mean,
Anyway.
in the way that in the real world F1 Ferrari isn't doing the greatest, so someone's definitely getting sacked. Not
No,
now,
it's
the chances
Ferrari.
of getting that's what I'm saying.
It's
The
Ferrari.
chances of
They'll
getting
just be
sacked,
like, oh, it's okay. You know, we're a team. We're a team. It's all right.
but the chances of someone getting sacked is nowhere near as high as Lawson right now.
Oh my God, that guy. I've heard actually. I don't know whether it's true or not, but I've heard in the old mill, I've heard that potentially Lawson could be making way for Tsunoda for Japan, and he's going to be dropped back to Racing Bulls as early as
Would not
Japan
surprise me.
for Tsunoda's home race.
Well,
Red
'cause
Bull
I
have
mean,
acknowledged
you
that they made a
know,
mistake in not promoting Tsunoda.
Well, a lot. Verstappen said that the racing bulls actually have a faster car than Red Bull right now.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
he's also admitted that the Red Bull is the fourth fastest car on the grid right now. So
But the only
that says a
reason,
lot.
that the Racing Bulls is inherently a faster car than the Red Bull is because Verstappen would be quicker in a Red Bull than the Racing Bulls. I can guarantee you that. But what he means is that for a standard driver like Lawson, the Racing Bulls is quicker. But if Verstappen were to jump in the Racing Bulls, he wouldn't be as quick because that Red Bull is built around him. But
Oh yeah.
he's absolutely true. A driver with a normal orthodox driving style, 100%, would be quicker in a Racing Bulls. I mean, he's not wrong there. But that's the thing, though. You know what? Red Bull eventually have got to make a decision. It's like nobody else can handle that sensitive front end the way that Verstappen can. So at some point they've got to say, well, you know, it's all well and good when we've got a car that he can win every race in, but when
Oh,
we're battling for podiums rather than wins, where does that leave him?
not in the greatest position.
Yeah, that's it. It really shoots them in the foot. But nonetheless, we're currently watching Northover coming to the end of this flying lap that we're on at the moment, as Northover currently P4 and stays P4 at the moment, only by 0.08 of a second, so very close there to improving his lap time. And still a fair way to go here in this qualifying session right now. Bo still top of the leaderboard here as he just starts another flying lap. The current provisional pulse is ZX10 there goes second place on that lap. We'll also get a nice tow here from Bo. We've got a few drivers coming into the final sector, but we don't know who they are because there's no way of identifying them just at the moment. But Mark Bow here coming through the first sector, currently on provisional pole, having done that lap time on the medium tyres, so he's got to have more time in the bag, you would have thought. Youngie's gone into 7th place with that last lap as we see him now backing out of it. Somebody going over the line there in the background, that's Jordan Hillier there, going into turn 1, ready to start a flying lap here. As Mark Bow here coming down towards the end of the long straight in towards the stadium section. Let's keep an eye on those sector times in the top right hand corner. As into this tricky chicane under the highway comes Bow, and now into the final sector here. So keep an eye on the right hand side. Let's see how much quicker he is. He's 2.5 tenths quicker at the middle sector point, so not massive improvements, but certainly enough to put the others on the back foot a little bit. Sniper C goes into second place, pushes ZX10 down a position, but here comes Bow in towards the final part of the lap here. And what is Bow going to be able to put on the board? Here we come then, into the final corner of the lap here at the Miami
25.8.
Autodrome. Good guess. That was damn good. That was very well. You were bang on the money. Absolutely bang on the money. Suki Cucumber there goes into P2 on a 25.9. So both of those two pretty close. Suki Cucumber showing that he's not going to be giving Mark Poe an easy time of it tonight here. Certainly, Suki Cucumber's got some good pace. And we've seen, obviously, Suki Cucumber over the course of this season already took a dominant win in Shanghai for the opening race of the season for the Chinese Grand Prix here at Red Arrows. And he just gets held up a little bit by Mark Poe, as Mark Poe's backed out of it there on this current run. So that's going to be a frustrating moment there for him. Although, having said that, I think they've both bailed out. But if Soggy Cucumber hadn't bailed out there, he's going to be pretty annoyed about that one, I'm sure.
Just something where I remember before I end up forgetting that the FIA is actually officially considering going back to V10 engines.
I really like that idea. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah.
I am
There's
so
no
excited for the idea of it.
There's no downside to it because the sustainable fuel. It's good. It's not going to change the performance of the cars. It's not going to take out any more emissions. So there's no reason not to go back to the V10 engine. That's one of the main reasons why a lot of people got into Formula One was because of the sound of those engines.
Absolutely, and it doesn't really, like you said, I mean, it doesn't really matter what fuel you're using, though they're still going to sound absolutely spectacular. There's still going to be a massive upgrade on what we've got at the moment. I mean, that wailing, it's so iconic. You can't.
It's like
you can't characterize it.
Moan, but it's like listening to your missus moan about something, but it's something that's actually bearable.
No, but it's majestic. That is the most apt word I can think of for the sound of the V10 engines, especially going around a track like do you remember Indianapolis road course?
Yep.
The wail of those engines around that banking, like the way that the sound would reverberate around the walls, you could hear it on TV. It was absolutely phenomenal.
How could you ask if I remember the very first track I ever did a sim race on?
Yeah. I mean, watching videos of the past, and I'm always a bit gutted because I got into F1 in 2007, which was obviously 2 years after the V10s were taken out of the sport, and I played F1 games, but I always found it weird how the real life. When I first started watching F1, I was confused because I thought that the engines in the games were different from the ones in real life. I was always a bit put out, thinking, why are the ones in real life? Why are they so bad compared to like the ones in the game? And then going on YouTube and watching videos, I then realised that actually the engines that were in the game were actually the ones that were on the cars back in the day. They just downgraded them to V8s and then obviously completely destroyed it by putting in the turbo hybrids. But yeah,
well,
my god, I would love.
And these cars, they do sound nice, but McLaren's engine noise this year is just wow.
Yeah, very very mid, low to mid, and it's not what you want to see. The thing is, it's mainly about the speed and the racing, and obviously you've got those two things, but the noise just adds something to it. It totally takes in the casual viewer. That's the thing. Racing and speed is enough for a avid fan, but for the casual viewer, that noise seals the deal, and that's what it's missing right now.
It's what catches the ear.
It's missing that wow factor, and that's what it needs. I think, especially in the era that F1's in right now, it brings so much excitement back. I really do think they should get on with it and do it. And having said, I think it's one thing that, for all of his faults, Mohammed bin Salem has thought of an absolute corker there with that idea. It really is phenomenal, and I really do hope they do it.
Right now, there's two options. Just do it for the 2026 season.
It's not going to happen.
When the cars change again.
It's not going to happen too soon. But
that's one of the options. The second option is hold out until I think it was 2028 or 29. But I feel like if they have the slightest chance to do it, I would say go next year.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen next year. I reckon it'll be about 2030. But I'd definitely love to hear that in the flesh at some point as well. And with the sound systems the way they are now as well, the TV would capture it so much better. It would just be phenomenal. I remember seeing the videos of Alonso driving it around Abu Dhabi about 4 years ago, and yeah, it's just ear porn. It really is.
But at the same time, with the current engines, see when the cars are kind of off the accelerator a wee bit, you get that kind of the crackle off the exhaust. I love that as well.
Mm,
It's
it
like the
reminds.
sound, the exhaust of like kind of Verstappen's car, like 2020, 2021.
Actually, funnily enough, there was one thing that I didn't like about the V10s, and this was also carried over to the '06 and '07 seasons, was that you could always hear the traction control kicking in, coming out of the corners,
Mm,
like that,
aye.
that synthetic sound. And that was one thing. Imagine the V10 engines without the traction control.
Mm-hmm.
Mate, you'd be able to hear the engine accelerating. You'd be able to hear the revs going up without hearing that noise in
Yeah.
the background.
Oh, and we've got Ball going fastest in the middle sector again.
Yeah, here he comes into the final couple of corners now. So Mark Bow on another flyer here. Is he going to rub salt in the wounds here? Soggy Cucumber out of the session. So it's all on this though for Mark Bow. Can he absolutely destroy him here? He improves very narrowly there. I thought it was going to be a total demolition there, but it wasn't quite what I thought it might be. But nonetheless, he has definitely put fear into his opponents here tonight, as we've got Super Striker now coming into the final corner. Can Super Striker get anywhere near them? Can he take pole away from our pole sitter? He can't take pole, but he does take second place away
Oh,
from the
look
Soggy
at that
Cucumber.
difference.
6 thousandths of a second there between those two. That is oh so tight between Super Striker and Soggy Cucumber. So what a close session that is at the top. As Corey Brennan there goes into 7th place right at the end of the session. And Archie's gone second. Oh my goodness. Where did that come
Oh.
from Archie? Was Archie racing the last couple of weeks?
I think so, but he has got a 5 grid place penalty.
Oh no. That's the
Yeah,
worst time to get a
for that
5 grid
driver.
penalty. You know what's the worst thing? When you get to a track that you really like and you absolutely nail a lap and you got a 5 place grid penalty, it's one of the worst things. It's so frustrating, you know, you kind of rue what could have been, but nonetheless, P7 for Archie, that's a strong position to start from, and still a long race to go. And remember, these drivers have got to use 3 different tyre compounds as well, which means that timing is going to be absolutely key in terms of coming into the pits at the right time. I reckon a lot of drivers are going to only do a couple of laps on the hards. They'll be minimising the amount of time on the hards, because the hard tyres are by far the slowest tyre, so you're going to have most drivers looking to basically do a filler stint on the hards, I reckon, and most of them are going to be on the mediums for the most of the race, and probably the softs for the rest.
So I'm going to say a few people are going to start off with the soft tyre, then go to the hards, then the mediums.
I don't know, if I was driving right now, I'd put the, it's hard to say, probably I'd start on the mediums, put the softs on for the middle stint, and then do whatever I couldn't do on the softs. So run the mediums until they're basically done, put the softs on, push on them until they're gone, and then put the hards on for the rest. That's what I would do.
Archie's
Personally.
left.
Archie has left, so hopefully Archie can get back in, because we know that obviously the AI will take over for a period of time. So hopefully, I think it's cross Archie can get back in. We've got Scott Leslie in the comments here saying, go see Faulkner, getting behind our driver who races with us on Tuesdays and Thursdays in Purple Sector as well. C. Faulkner did race here last week at Miami on the Thursday race, but didn't actually get to see where C. Faulkner's starting in this one. We know obviously usually goes better in the races than what he does in the qualifying, so could be seeing a bit of a performance here from C. Faulkner over the course of this one. But here we are then, guys. We are moments away from the start of the Miami Grand Prix here for the Red Arrows F1 League here, Season 12. This is round 3 of 12 for this season. And we're moments away here from the start. And we've got to make sure that all the drivers obviously do at least 2 pit stops and use all 3 tyre compounds for tonight. We're going to be keeping an eye on that. We'll be streaming it. So if anyone has any doubts or any inquiries, then it's all on the stream. All the evidence will be here and irrefutable, because we've got it here in black and white. In fact, no,
And
not black and white.
for anybody,
Red, white,
that
and
does,
yellow.
Wow. And for anybody that doesn't do the minimum of 2 pit stops, we'll be getting a personal finger flick to the boys from Andy. And then he'll lick them better for you.
I don't know what to say.
You would
Ian, you
just say
weren't supposed
thank
to
you.
tell anyone that. It's supposed to be a surprise. It was supposed to be a shock.
Oh
What
well.
we were gonna do is Mohammed bin Salem was gonna tie them up in his office, above the FIA headquarters, and they were all gonna be sat there waiting for something, and then I was gonna come in and do that. That's so. But yeah, unfortunately, the surprise has been ruined. So now, we're not gonna do it anymore. That's it. It's
Oh,
ruined.
oh, you're doing it,
Cancelled.
mate. It's part of your contract.
No, cancelled. Cancelled. Sorry, mate.
Nope.
Not happening. Not happening anymore. Real shame. Real shame. Secret's out.
Sounds like a personal problem to me.
Very sad. Anyway, we're just currently hanging about a bit in this loading screen. It's taking a bit longer than usual. It usually goes straight from qualifying to the race within about 30 seconds, but it does appear there is a little bit of a hold up here for some reason. I'm not quite sure exactly what the reason is behind that, but fingers crossed we'll be getting it underway very shortly. Here we are then. Underway for the formation lap. I think it's a full formation lap, isn't it, for Red Arrows, if I remember correctly?
I believe so. I was sure last week we didn't do a formation lap.
No, it was 2 weeks ago we didn't do a formation lap. China was straight in because it's a sprint race. So the sprint and the Grand Prix were both straight into the race. I think for the Grand Prix, I think it's a full formation lap, and there's no cutscene, so you've got to actually do the entire lap, which is going to be very interesting. But anyway, let's get the tyres up because that's going to tell us a lot to do with what's going to be happening in this race. So Bo, Super Striker, Socky Cucumber, Sniper C, ZX10 and Steely, not Steely. The top 5 are starting on the soft tyres. Steely and Archie are on the medium tyres in 6th and 7th. You've got Geldy, Corey, Northover and Youngie also on the soft tyres. Brams is starting on the hard tyres. That's a ballsy move there. Let's see if it pays off. Murph starting on the softs and Liam on the medium tyre there. Jordan Hillier on the softs with Super Calgon on the mediums as well as C. Faulkner. So few drivers at the back here, or nearer to the back, putting the medium tyres on. IDB CFC on the hard tyres, Meldav on the mediums, and WA Brewdog on the soft tyres. So plenty of diversity here in terms of the choices of tyre. And I'd say for the most part, it looks like the soft is the most popular choice, followed by the medium, and the hard seems to be the outlier.
We'll see exactly how it goes. As we are just waiting on the drivers laying up onto the grid for the Grand Prix race start.
Indeed we are. It seems like Archie's AI is ghosting here. Hopefully this sorts itself out, but obviously Archie's AI has fallen a long way behind Steely, who's starting P6. Archie's meant to be 7th, but is absolutely nowhere near the grid yet. Geldy there lining up ahead of Corey with Northover, Youngie, Brams. There's Murph. Where is Archie's AI? We can't quite see at the moment. But nonetheless, here we are, lining up on the grid, getting ready to go racing here at Miami for round 3 of the Red Arrows Racing League Season 12 here. Once these lights go on, the engine revs will start to rise, and we all know that we're locked in and ready to go here for the round 3 of the season. Here we go. It's Mark Bow on the front of your screen there. Closest to the lights as it's lights out and away we go, and looks like Super Striker they got a better start than Mark Bow, and into turn 1 we go. He's going to probably lead down the inside. He goes. Super Striker manages to get that move done. Mark Bow's still there though, not giving up on this one. They're still side by side, but Super Striker gets that one done up into the lead of the race. Steely there moves ahead of it. ZX10 up into P5 as well, so good start there from Steely on the medium tyres, but Super Striker there managing to get ahead in this second phase of the start there ahead of Mark Bow. Super Striker now obviously he didn't get a massively great start, but led into turn 1, and really good stuff from him. Sucker Cucumber there in 3rd place, followed by Sniper C with Steely, ZX10 with Corey Brown and Geldy, Northover and Youngie completing the top 10. Then you've got Murph ahead of Jordan Hillier, followed by Liam, Brams, Super Calgon with C. Faulkner there in P16, IDB CFC, Brewdog, Meldav and Archie and his AI running at the back of the pack as Geldy's made a move here on Corey Brennan into the corner at the end of the long straight, and up into 7th place he goes. And Youngi's made a mistake here. What's happened to Youngie? Youngi's had an absolute horror show here, coming in towards the stadium section, down to 17th place there from what I think was about P10. So Youngie has had a horrendous first lap and is dropping down the order like an absolute stone right now. But Super Striker leading, coming down this long straight towards the final corner. But Bo here has got the slipstream and is going to make that move relatively routine there from Bo. And now leads the race here as they come into the final sector. You've got S13 here looking to the inside of Steely as well, looking for P5 as he locks up massively there going into the corner. Steely trying to hang it around the outside. That's not going to happen. And ZX10 moves up into 5th place without any further ado there. Super Striker right on the back of Mark Bow, having lost that position a few moments ago. No DRS this time around, so has to wait a little bit longer here to try and take that lead back. But we'll have the DRS down the middle sector, that long straight in the middle sector, in a few moments time. So Super Striker will get his chance to try and come back at Mark Bow very, very shortly. Soggy Cucumber there running in 3rd place ahead of Sniper C, followed by ZX10 as Steely and Geldy not too far away, as Northover attacking on the back of Corey here, as Corey looking to try and avoid losing 2 places in the first 2 laps. Got passed by Geldy down the end of the straight on the first lap, and now Northover looking pretty racy here on the back of the Mercedes. Soggy Cucumber also very close on Super Striker now as well. Might fancy a move. I tell you what, the top 3 are battling very close here. Super Striker now down the inside of Bo in towards this left-hander, and he's going to make that move stick there. Is Super Striker up into the lead of the race. Fantastic stuff there. Soggy Cucumber in the end wasn't able to move ahead of the race leader as well. So Bo obviously has gone from the lead down to 2nd place. Super Striker has got that lead which he took into turn 1, then lost on the first lap again, and now has regained it. So these two, Super Striker and Bo, are chopping and changing left, right and centre. It looks like we're going to get a role reversal here, because Bo is now looking to the inside, and same thing we saw on the first lap, Ian. These two having a great scrap, very evenly matched. Bo straight past without any issues there whatsoever. That DRS is really working strongly here tonight.
Yeah, but it's not going to give him now that much respite right now, because we do have one last DRS coming down the pit straight, and it's just about to see whether or not Super Striker can make the move. No, he thinks better of it and backs out into turn 1. Just looking at this battle from the perspective of Soggy Cucumber, so yeah, no, I mean, it's looking really, really feisty.
It is. Soggy Cucumber sat there and can see this going on in front of him. Is he in this position probably just thinking if he sits in behind and waits for his opportunity, the likelihood is that these two are either going to slow each other down or potentially even take each other out? He just wants to be in the right place at the right time, doesn't he? He wants to stay out of the way, not get caught up, and make sure that he can capitalise.
I'm experiencing a lot of lag here.
There'll be a lag on Ian's end there, apparently, so hopefully that sorts itself out. Steely has moved through ahead of Sniper C up into 5th place down the end of the straight. So Sniper C now just behind, as looks like also we've got Geldy, who's got Northover, Corey and Murphy in hot pursuit right now. So there's a load of drivers here. You've got Liam as well, as Northover there moving ahead of Geldy, coming out onto the straight. I think he'll have DRS as well, so Geldy could be very vulnerable here to this pack of cars behind. I don't think he'll have DRS down this part of the track. No, he does have DRS, so he was behind the detection point. It's Northover who's the leader of the train. Geldy now looking to the inside at the end of the straight, looking down the inside. It's not going to happen quite there, as the battle for the lead is still heating up. Super Striker's regained the lead ahead of Bo as they come over the line here to complete lap 3 of the race. Bo is still right on the back of him, but Super Striker has just put a number on him there once again. But these two seemingly locked horns, and they can't get enough of each other at the moment, as Jordan Hillier and Super Calgan side by side into turn 1. Bit of contact there between them as they try to thread the needle, and in the end Jordan Hillier comes out on top in that one. Bram's now looking to the inside of Super Calgan as well, looking left and right, trying to find a way through. It's not going to happen at the moment, but Super Calgan...
Alpine rear wing is illegal. There's a massive gap between the DRS flap and the rest of the spoiler.
Wait, which one? The Alpine?
Yeah, there's a massive gap. You can fit your head through that.
I don't know, maybe that's one for the stewards, but Murphy looking to the outside of Liam towards the end of the straight, and Liam comfortably ahead there going into the braking zone, as Jordan and Super Calgan here side by side, and Jordan there has just lost out to Super Calgan. Super Calgan manages to squeeze through going into the stadium section there, as Jordan gives him a bit of a tap there, which is not going to be appreciated at all there by Super Calgan. But these guys holding it as they go through onto the long straight here. So Super Calgon up into the points paying positions for the time being. Liam in the meantime is making a move here on Corey, but Corey's now going to have the DRS from Northover. But having said that, Liam manages to breathe past anyway, and Liam here looking to try and make it 2 moves in the space of a couple hundred metres here to the inside of Northover, but he's too far back going into the corner. Northover holds on for now as we go to the leaders here, because Bo and Super Striker are both in very early on. Yeah, you're right, he is in, but Bo and Super Striker, the top two, have now pitted, so Soggy Cucumber's going to be staying out on the soft tyres for a little bit longer here. Bo and Super Striker have gone onto different tyres, Bo on the hard tyres and Super Striker on the mediums. And ZX10 is really giving Soggy Cucumber a lot to worry about here in this battle for what was P3. It's now the lead.
And this is truly something you will not ever see in real life. Not anytime soon, anyway. This Hellboy fighting the Williams for a lead.
Yeah, it's quite a sight to behold, guys. Yeah, don't scratch your eyes. This is really happening. But yeah, currently ZX10 there making a move into that corner there, but goes a little bit deep, and Soggy Cucumber's going to try and come back, but it's not quite going to be able to get the cut back there. And ZX10 has now got the lead of the race here. Steely looking to try and capitalise on these two, but they're going at it at the moment. Murph has moved ahead of Super Calgon in the meantime up into P5. Super Calgon now coming under more pressure here from Corey, who's on those soft tyres. Super Calgon on the mediums. Steely and Liam in good positions right now. Well, Steely especially, because Steely started on the medium tyres and is right on the back of the top two. And these top two were right on the back of the previous top two before they came in for their pit stops. So Steely in a net battle for the lead here on the slower tyres.
Yeah, we've got Bo all the way down to 13, well, 5.5 seconds behind the next closest car that's on a medium set of tyre.
Soggy Cucumber coming in to the pits a lap after the other two of obviously Bo and Super Striker. Super Striker has come out ahead of Bo, by the way, or at least has got ahead of him on this outlap. These two are battling it out now for 13th and 14th. Obviously they're net 1 and 2, but due to the tanglement of this whole 3 different tyre compound pit race, it means that these two are now running way down the order in 10th and 11th places here. But Murph, Corey and Jordan have all been into the pits at the end of lap 5. But yeah, fascinating stuff here as these two are continuing to battle. And Soggy Cucumber has lost out massively. I'll tell you what, this is very counterintuitive. Soggy Cucumber has lost 3 seconds to the other two. So the undercut going on to the hards or mediums has massively worked out compared to those 5-lap-old softs. So I'm very surprised at that.
Because right now, the only are 2 people that we have on 5-lap-old softs is ZX10er and Brewdog. And right now, it looks like ZX10 is actually keeping the gap to Steely right now. Yeah,
doing well. Obviously, Steely's right there. In fact, Steely's got ahead of him as they come down towards the end of the straight here. So Steely makes that move on the medium tyres. So Steely can go long here. Obviously, wants to put the softs on, I'm sure, for the next stint, and maybe put the hards on for the last couple of laps just to get that done. But yeah, Steely currently leads the race here at the beginning of lap 7. This could be an absolute masterstroke strategy here from Steely if things continue to go as they are right now. As Brams in the meantime has moved ahead of C. Faulkner up into P5 into turn 1. Super Striker with the fastest lap of the race there from P9. Still got Bo for company as they go into turn 1. And these guys are now on the back of... in fact, no, they're not on the back of anybody, sorry. That's just those two running together at the moment. Brewdog in the pits here at the end of lap 6, so has taken those soft tyres off. ZX10 are now the only driver who started on the softs to be still on those soft tyres. But
earlier on you said that the hard tyre was definitely the slowest compound that you can run at Miami right now, but Bo is really keeping Super Striker honest on those hard tyres.
Yeah, he absolutely is. He's doing a very good job here. I think that with the hard tyres, you can push them as much as you like. With the mediums, a little bit of conservation. I don't know if that's a factor, but I also know that the advantage that mediums have wears off very, very quickly around a track like this, especially in the heat. So it really only lasts about a lap or so, and then they're pretty much even for the rest of the stint. As we all know, the hards last so much longer than the mediums do, which is very advantageous here. But Rexy Boy in the comments saying, come on Faulkner. Obviously Rexy Boy, a fellow Purple Sector racer here with C. Faulkner, and currently C. Faulkner in P6 at the moment. but still yet to come in for his first stop of the race. ZX10 has come into the pits here to take off those soft tyres which he started the race on, and that's not a surprise there because he's gone further than anybody else dared to go, as we see the medium tyres going on ZX10, so that just leaves him with the hards to go. So it's currently the top 7 who are still yet to pit, and of those, 5 of them started on the mediums and 2 of them started on the hard tyres. So I think even a few of the medium starters have been in. I can't quite work out who, but I'm sure 1 or 2 of the medium starters have. Northover, I think, started on the mediums, and I think so did Brewdog, Sniper C,
Yep.
I can't remember.
Pretty much everyone from Super Striker downwards is being in for the pit.
Yeah, but a couple of the drivers who started on mediums have already been in to put hards on, I think, as well.
No, it's everyone else is on 7 lap old tyres.
Yeah. But
Not
nonetheless,
everyone from Super Striker down is being in for their tyre change at least.
yeah, that's right. But Steely coming down the long straight here on 8 lap old medium tyres. It's got a comfortable lead right now. And last week, obviously, we had this guy in our crosshairs for a lot of the race, didn't we? And we thought he was going to have a real chance in the second stint because he'd kept up with the leaders. He was running the hard tyres for the first stint at Hungary in the Grand Prix and was right with the guys who were running on the mediums in the first stint. We thought that when he switched to the mediums and they had to run the hards, that he was going to have a blinder of a second stint. And it just didn't work out for him, did it? It really never came to fruition for Steely. But currently in this first stint, hasn't changed tyres yet and has been absolutely flying. Sorry. Did I do something wrong?
No, just don't jinx him. If you look at
Oh.
Liam going onto the soft tyre at this point in the race, that's a bit of a bold choice.
Yeah, it is a little bit ballsy. Why does he come out? Because if you're on a soft tyre, you really need to be in clean air. It doesn't really work unless you're in clean air. So it could be...
3.3 seconds behind Gildy.
Yeah, it could be problematic there for him. As Bo's got ahead of Meldab. Now Soggy Cucumber will be lining up as well. But Super Striker currently leading this train of obviously those who have been into the pits already. And is still just ahead of Bo. So Bo keeping it pretty much within a car's length of him over the last few laps. Soggy Cucumber's got to clear Meldab quickly if he wants to avoid losing time to Super Striker and Bo. But Soggy Cucumber is way behind here, so I don't know what's happened to him. Has he had some sort of incident? Because he is absolutely nowhere near Super Striker and Bo. It seems like he's fallen back since the pit stops.
Yeah, but it doesn't look like he's got any damage or anything like that. But I think it's just this DRS train that the guys up ahead of him are currently engulfed in.
In the meantime, Super Striker and Bo now making their way through the traffic there. You can see C. Faulkner there, who was in the midst of all of that. Super Striker now moving ahead of C. Faulkner there up into what's currently P3 on the track. But obviously, in terms of the overall picture, it is probably still the net race lead as we see Steely coming out of the pits, having got a penalty. Steely's got a penalty. And that's a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane as well. That is going to massively bite him on the bum at the end of the race. And Sniper C's also got a 3-second penalty for track limits as well. Oh, what a shame. As Bo gets ahead of C. Faulkner up into 4th place. And, well, that's I guess that's our dark horse out of the running. Oh well.
You did it. You called it. You ruined it.
Yeah, you actually did. You actually knew what was going to happen, and I feel so bad.
Right, give me 2 seconds. There's somebody at my door.
Right, so whilst Ian gets threatened by all sorts of types, we're going to continue on with this race here tonight. As Super Striker now making a move up into 2nd place out of RDB-CFC. Obviously on those medium tyres is Super Striker. You can see there now Bo looking to the inside of RDB-CFC as well, as they're side by side here through the final sector, and they're running oh so close there between them as they almost banged wheels. And here comes Bo now looking to the inside here, coming down towards turn 1. Freddie says some good racing. Really has been good racing here as Bo manages to squeeze ahead of RDB-CFC there. RDB-CFC not making it easy for him, but Bo does complete that move up into 3rd place. And obviously IWCSC still needs to pit again at some point in this race, or needs to come in for his first stop even up. Bo needs to put the medium tyres on for the final stint. Super Striker has put the medium tyres on for this stint and will be on the hard tyres for the final stint of the race. For those of you just joining us, these races require 3 different tyres. You have to use all 3 dry compounds in the races. It adds an extra element to it, means that drivers have to switch up their strategies a little bit and probably do a bit of practice to see what the ideal sort of stint lengths are. And it makes it really fascinating for us viewers, because it makes it very unpredictable. We don't know what could happen from one lap to the next, especially if there's a safety car as well. That could really spice it up. Although, to be honest, if I had a race like this, I would probably turn them off, knowing full well how catastrophic it could be for the strategy and for the whole setup of the race. But nonetheless, we see here Super Striker and Bo, the 2 drivers that are pitted right on the back of Brams here. Brams has still got to come in, but on the hard tyres, we imagine, will probably go a little way into this stint, unless obviously he feels that he can get the race distance done on a set of mediums and hard and softs from here to the end of the race. But staying out for the time being, as ZX10 are coming up the inside here. Sniper C up into 9th place. That's job done there for the Kicksalver driver, as Meldav comes into the pits here at the end of lap 11. So Meldav will now be putting either the softs or the hards on. What goes on Meldav's car? Hard tyres there for Meldav, and off and away we go. ZX10 are battling here with Northover, managing to squeeze ahead there, going through turn 2 and turn 3, and ZX10 managing to make that move and complete it up into 7th place. Sniper C now attacking on the back of Northover here, but I tell you what, Northover's not done, as he's looking back to the inside of ZX10. Here we go now through the DRS zone, and ZX10 could be very vulnerable here to Northover. Here we go then, the Red Bull getting closer and closer. The rear wing will be open in a second. In the meantime, Super Striker's overtaken Brams for the lead of the race. Obviously that's not for overall position, because Brams still has to come in for his first stop of the race, as Northover looking to the outside down the end of the straight, but ZX10 has got it parked nicely there and is defending the position very, very astutely indeed there. And this is good battling here between these drivers for the time being. But Super Striker's got over a second of a gap here, and Mark Bowe now finally clears Brams up into 2nd place, but has lost a bit of time there to Super Striker in doing so. So these 2 battling for the race lead. They're now well ahead of Soggy Cucumber running in P5. As Northover's got ahead of ZX10 here up into 7th place as they're coming through the final few corners of the lap. So Northover and ZX10 are still continuing to swap and change positions constantly here. ZX10 now looking to the inside here, in towards turn 1, a little bit too far away. It's not going to happen just there. But good battles here in this Miami Grand Prix here at the Red Arrows Racing League, as ZX10 all over the back of Northover, still coming through the first sector.
I got food.
Oh, it was Uber Eats.
Yeah, my friend sent me a McDonald's.
What, any warning, or just there we go.
Just out nowhere, apparently. I wasn't
Did you
expecting anything.
did you ask the driver who ordered it?
No.
Oh, you should have said who ordered it.
Well, there's only one person apart from outside of yourself that I have, that I'm actually a friend with, so, you know.
What was it? Not thingy. You know who I mean?
Could be. No.
No. Oh, you're not friends with her. Don't count her as a friend. Soggy Cucumber nonetheless moves up into 4th place. And yeah, that's a good move there from him. Obviously only 4-5 seconds off the lead. But yeah, Super Striker and Bo looking like they've got this race to themselves here out the front. But I suppose I've got to ask the question, what is that you're currently eating?
McDonald's.
Doesn't really answer my question, mate.
2 double cheeseburgers and 9 nuggets.
Ooh, very nice. Delicious, in fact.
Very.
Can you send some to me?
No.
Give it here.
Nope.
Give me some.
I don't share.
Give me some.
I don't share.
It's mine.
I will stick my foot so far up your fucking arse, my shoelaces will be hanging out your bastard mouth, so shut the fuck up and get away from my foot.
I just heard your cat meow as you said that.
Yeah, she's wanting some nuggets.
The cat's getting intimidated.
No, she'll get the same treatment. I'll floss my fucking shoelaces through her.
That's awful. Can't believe that.
Fuck it.
Hello, is that
That's
the
what happens
OSP?
when you try.
Is
That's
that the
what happens when you try
OSPCA?
to touch my foot.
Yeah, I've got a gentleman here who's apparently anally probing a cat with his shoelaces. Yeah, his name's Ian Prentice. Um, yeah, he lives somewhere in
That's what you
Ayr.
think it is.
Yeah, I don't know. If you look up Ayr Council tenants, you'll find him. He's on there somewhere. Cool. All right then. Excellent. Right. Keep me posted. Thank you very much. Cheers. Bye.
Yeah,
Oh
they
shit.
won't be able to do
Oh shit! I
fuck all
didn't mute
because
my
they're.
mic. Oh no.
Well, good
Oh
luck with
god,
that
I
one, because you
didn't do
realise
anything.
that Scotland has a completely separate agency.
I love the
We
way
have
you're
the
like.
SS,
I love
we have
how.
the SSPDSA, or whatever the fuck it's called, but whereas you have the RSPCA.
Oh, is it not the
We
same?
have
I thought RSPCA was a British thing.
no, it's you've got the SS RSPCA, which is the Scottish one.
But nonetheless.
I'm
Bo-
gonna eat my food. I'll be back.
oh what? You can't. Oh what?
Pump
Come
back
on,
and
mate.
forth. Shut the fuck up, you moaning face.
Come
Whore.
on.
Mate, shut up.
I'm
gonna come
not.
back
I'm
and
not
forth.
paying you to eat McDonald's. You know.
Shut the fuck up. Tell me to look after myself, and that's what I'm doing. Is Bo just whacked the wall coming into the mouse tree.
Yeah, look after yourself when we're not commentating. Scott Leddy says
Well,
another day in
I'm
air.
gonna do it now.
Another day in air, says Scott. As IDVCFC moving ahead of Meldav up into 14th place. But Bo out in front. And actually,
Scott, at least it's not Aberdeen. At least it's not Aberdeen.
whilst we were bickering there, Super Striker actually came in for the hard tyres. So going for the undercut here on Bo. Obviously, was stuck behind for a while. Bo, though, is going to have faster medium tyres in the final stint.
The flashing blue lights outside my house.
Hey, finally catching up with you.
Engines.
Your game's up, mate.
That's fire engines.
The game's
That's
up.
Fire engines.
Game over, bro.
It's fire engines. It's fire.
They've clearly had a breakthrough. Someone's grasped.
Fuck.
As Liam and Jordan both in the pits. Archie's AI's also come in for a fresh set of boots as well. But it's going to be interesting now to see if Super Striker can get the undercut here on Bo. Because he'll have faster tyres for these few laps, but Bo's going to have much quicker tyres on those mediums at the end. So whatever Super Striker does now, he needs to try and have a good gap to Bo. If Super Striker doesn't have at least a few seconds here to Bo in his final stint, I think Bo's going to find it easy to get onto the back of him and make that move.
Yeah, right now for Bo it's all about. It's just about trying to find the perfect sweet spot between coming in too early, coming in too late, and he has to find that spot of absolute perfection where he has a decent enough gap where he can do one lap to warm up those tyres and get them up to performance.
If Bo can make the medium tyres last a stint and at a good pace, then he's going to be unstoppable, isn't he, in this final stint compared to the hard tyres of Super Striker. So, yeah, definitely the advantage is certainly with Bo at this point. As Super Striker Cucumber then moving ahead of Steely up into second place here into turn one. Steely, we mentioned earlier on, had a chance here. Obviously, got done for speeding in the pits. But Steely does still have a stint on the softs to go at the end of this race. His final stint will be on the softs, and he's only 6 seconds behind Bo. So Steely could be in the fight for the win on the track, whether or not. Yeah, it's very unlikely it's going to be for the overall. But for sure, I think that Steely could have a chance of a podium, at least the top 5 here tonight, even with that 10-second penalty. It's definitely on the cards here with a soft stint to come at the end of the race. The question is when he's going to put those softs on. I reckon it'll probably be about lap 21. But we'll have to wait and see. on that one, as we see Super Calgon and IDBCFC having a battle here side by side. Bit of contact there as IDBCFC just taps the rear wheel there of Super Calgon. Still in that slipstream with the DRS as well. They're flat out here down towards this this braking zone at the end of the long straight in the middle sector, and IDBCFC has made that move there easily with the DRS up into 9th place, and Super Calgon couldn't fight that at all. Nicely done there from IDBCFC as Steely's got back ahead of Soggy Cucumber despite well, actually, are these two running on the same age of tyres, similar? Or actually, Soggy Cucumber's 4 laps older, which I hadn't noticed. But both of these two have got to pit again because neither of them have done any running. Soggy Cucumber's got to put the mediums on. Steely's got to put the softs on, and Bo has got to put the mediums on as well. But it's going to be very interesting how this all pans out. It's so hard to keep track of when you know that all these drivers have got to use 3 different tyre compounds, working out who's going to be on what tyre in the next stint. So drivers who don't have to pit again are Super Striker, RDB CFC. I don't think has to pit again. I'm not sure. I think maybe he doesn't have to pit again. But oh, and the hard runners at the bottom. So from 10th downwards, I want to say. I don't know actually. You know what? It's so hard to keep track of. Let's have a look at the pit stops. Right, so Liam, Geldy, Murph, Jordan, Corey and Youngie don't have to stop again, and neither does Super Striker. Those guys have all 2 stopped, and everybody else has to obviously stop again. So all those who have 1 stopped have to stop again, because you have to use 3 different tyre compounds in these races. Makes it fascinating.
Oh, really?
On the strategy. Yeah, no, I haven't said that before, have I? I just wanted to make sure.
No, I'm really shocked by that. That's new information to me.
Good, because I just want to make sure, because, you know, I don't think I mentioned it, so I just wanted to make sure I mentioned it, that you have to use 3 different tyre compounds. Did you know you have to use 3 different tyre compounds?
No.
Well, good. That's why I'm making you aware of it, because obviously if people don't know, then they might be confused, and I just want to make sure people understand the fact that you have to use all 3 sets of dry tyre compounds.
Well, thank you very much for your overall, immaculate stupidity.
Thank you very much indeed. Anyway, we've got Soggy Cucumber into the pits, and off and away he goes on a fresh set of medium tyres there. And it looks like we've also got Sniper C getting the medium tyres on. So is C Faulkner as well. No, C Faulkner's still out there. Sorry. Who am I looking at? Oh, S13 has put the hard tyres on for the final stint. And we're still yet to see Bo and Steely, who could both yet be in the battle for the win, because Steely's going to have the faster tyres on compared to Bo. We're going to exclude the penalties here for the time being, because I don't really want to have to include that. Obviously, without Steely's penalty, we'd be in for an absolute cracking finish, and the battle on track is going to be absolutely spellbinding all the way to the end. I can guarantee that Steely could definitely be in with a shout of winning this race on the track, and that's all that I'm concerned about at the moment.
Well, I told you, stop fucking jinxing them.
Sorry, but it's fascinating to me. This whole type of race has got me hooked. It really has, as we see Sniper C and ZX10 are here battling for 11th place, and Sniper C's managed to squeeze ahead here. But yeah, it's really fascinating to see. It's like back in the early 2010s when you had those Pirelli tyres that used to degrade after about 5 or 6 laps. It's like those races. It was fascinating. They had to eventually stop running those because they were quite dangerous, but they used to be falling apart. The softs used to last about 6 or 7 laps. It was crazy. As Steely, Northover and Brabs have all come into the pits here. So Steely has put the softs on. Yep, Steely's going to be flat out to the end. He served his stop go penalty, which means that we're not going to see him figure in the race. So well done, EA.
I called it. You jinxed him.
Well, he wasn't going to win anyway, because he was going to get the penalty no matter what. Whether he was going to have to serve it in the pit stop or whether he was going to have it added to his time, it was still going to be a penalty.
You still jinxed him. Yeah, even before he got the penalty, you were talking about him highly, and you jinxed him.
Your point is invalid.
No.
Soggy Cucumber and Super Calgon here, side by side, is now Soggy Cucumber making a move with the DRS. Under the bridge we go in towards the stadium section. That's job done there, into 4th place there for Soggy Cucumber. As we see Meldav in the background trying to close in on these. So Cybersea's made the move on Northover. They're up into 7th place as they come to the end of the straight as well. Not too far behind that battle that we were just looking at a few moments ago. Bo is coming into the pits for his final pit stop of the race. Those medium tyres are going to be coming off. It'll be Super Striker leading the race. But does Bo come out in second? And how close is he going to be? What gap is he going to have to reel in the closing laps of this race? It's going to be fascinating to see how this unfolds. As Super Striker now coming over the line here to start lap 22 of the race. He will be the race leader, but for how much longer? Because Bo is going to be absolutely tearing after him in the final couple of laps. Bo now off the limiter, comes out in 2nd place, which is crucial there because he's not going to get held up in traffic. As there is IDV CFC coming through your shot. Soggy Cucumber just behind with Meldav, and looks like Super Calgon's into the pits at the end of lap 21. So Super Calgon will be putting the soft tyres on for the final stint. Steely's also already put the soft tyres on for his final stint of the race and is now good to go to the end of the race. But the highest runner of those who don't need to stop again is the race leader, Super Striker. And I think that everybody has done their 2 stops now, so I don't think anybody has to pit again as far as I'm aware. IDBCFC needs to pit again, so does Meldav. And C. Thornton is in the pits right now. Archie's AI has been in for 1 stop so far, but is not out on the track at the moment. But VSC has been deployed. I'm not quite sure why. Oh, very strange. Anyway, ZX10 has moved ahead of Sniper C up into 7th place at the end of the straight. Goes a little bit wide there on the exit of the corner, but that's job done there for the kick salver. As Liam and Geldy are battling here over 9th and 10th places at the moment. Brams is right there as well, looking hungry for a point here in this race if he can get it. Sniper C in the meantime moving up into 7th place there. Brams has also got ahead of Geldy up into P10, so that's a nice move there as well. And Jordan Hillier has moved ahead of Corey up into 14th place into the final part of the lap we go. So that's Jordan Hillier now up into 14th. As Geldy's made a mistake and has crashed out of the race. Geldy has brought out a yellow flag. Is that going to be an upgrade to a safety car? Let's hope not, because the strategy would be blown out of the water. I think potentially safety cars might have been disabled for this. Which is really good when you consider the fact that obviously it's a race which really is centred around strategy, and it would be a shame if safety cars were on, I think, in this situation, because I think that would kind of ruin what is a race to do with management and to do with thinking rather than just driving. So yeah, I think that it's good that they've got them disabled, and I'm pretty sure they have. But yeah, nonetheless, Super Striker's got Bo crawling over the back of him here. Bo on the medium tyres will be able to go to the end comfortably here. Only got to do 10 laps altogether on these. So it's definitely doable here for Bo as we're coming into the final corner of the lap here. So Mark Bo looking to try and seize the initiative here on the back of Super Striker. Super Striker can push these hard tyres as hard as he likes, but Mark Bo's got to run here and is surely going to look to try and make this move here down towards turn 1. Super Striker defends the inside line. Mark Bo's going to have to go around the long way here into turn 1. Super Striker parking that beautifully there. Absolute peach of a defence there from our race leader, and not allowing any gaps to form here. I tell you what, if you were going to make a manual on how to defend your position or from a driver behind on faster tyres, you would say you would pretty much do exactly what Super Striker did there, wouldn't you?
Sorry. Well, yeah. But very much like defence at the start of World War II, you know, you think your defence is going to be solid as hell, but eventually it will give way.
Trust Ian to turn talk about F1 into World War II. As Super Striker here making a move, Bo making a move on Super Striker, should I say, at the end of the straight up into the lead of the race. So he's made that one stick there as Bo, and obviously on the faster tyres, Super Striker's going to have to try and stay close in the DRS. This DRS zone could be Super Striker's only chance to get back into this race here on those slower tyres. He's got to keep himself close here and try and have a crack into turn 1. He's not going to be close enough at the end of this straight, but he'll have the rear wing open to get him that little bit closer coming down towards the final corner. Super Striker's chances of a race win, I think, are fading away here. This has got to be his last chance here. He's got to stay close out of this corner. If he can't, it's game over, I think, because Bo will have the quicker car coming through this the faster corners in the first sector here, and will probably be over a second ahead by the next DRS zone. Super Striker is going to get that DRS. It's going to get a little bit closer, but I think that's it. Bo should be able to see this one out here with 6 laps left to go. He's done the hard part. He's closed in. He's taken the lead. And with 6 laps in this race, I think that Mark Bowe in the McLaren has likely got this one sealed here. As Super Cucumber running in third place, a few seconds behind. He's going to have faster tyres than Super Striker in the closing laps of this race. Might have a chance here to close in and take second place here. We'll have to keep an eye on that one, as North Dover's got a penalty here. That could bite him, because Brams is within 3 seconds at the moment. ZX10 are all over the back of Brams, as well as Sniper C and Liam, as well as Steely, who's right with them on the soft tyres. Steely wanted to make light work of these guys, though, because they've got much slower tyres than he has at this point in the race. So that was another one. I'll tell you what, though, Super Striker stuck to the task here on the back of Bo. Bo has not disappeared. I'll tell you that. Super Striker's still right there. As through the stadium they go. Super Striker's actually closer coming out onto this straight than he was on the previous lap. This might not yet be over out the front here. Super Striker with that DRS is going to be getting closer and closer down towards that final corner. See what the gap is. It might be just under half a second here coming into the corner. Yes, it is. 0.4 of a second as they hit the brakes. Super Striker will be again get another bite of the DRS down towards turn 1. I'll tell you what, I thought Mark Bowe would have disappeared after making that move, but it hasn't appeared to be the case at all. Super Striker with the fastest lap of the race there on 10 lap old hard tyres, should I say. So really pushing the limits here in that Alpine at the moment. Riding on board with our second place driver at this point. Has led a lot of the race here, but these two have been battling it out the front for the entirety. Soggy Cucumber just dropping a little bit of time to these two on the last lap here. These three definitely are in a class, but Soggy Cucumber hasn't quite been able to keep up with these two in this particular race, but has certainly been on their level in previous races, that's for sure. Super Striker still right there with our race leader as we come down this DRS zone. He's still in this. He is still very much in this battle for the win. As we come to the end of the long straight in the middle sector, through in towards the stadium section once again, and the gap's still around the same as it was on the previous lap, but Super Striker is not letting up here, like I thought could be the case as we come through that chicane. I'll tell you what, Super Striker was close to track limits there. That was borderline. As we now come along towards this final sector, the long straight that leads down towards the final corner, and Super Striker again with that DRS. But again, a little bit too far away. And this time, I think, on this lap, just a little bit further away than the previous lap as well. But nonetheless, still well within DRS and still in with a shout if Mark Bowe makes a mistake or if his tyres start to go off. But saying that, 10 laps is not much to the mediums, so I wouldn't have thought that's going to be an issue for Bowe unless he mismanages them. But Soggy Cucumber there running at place about 5 seconds behind these. We've got to go to the battle here for 5th place, because Brams is currently ahead of ZX10. Sniper C and Steely right there with these as well. Sniper C on the mediums, a bit faster than ZX10, although has lost a bit of time on that previous lap. Steely on the soft tyres has got ahead of Liam up into 8th and is now looking to hassle the back of this Haas car. Sniper C's got a penalty as well for track limits. That's not going to help.
I'm pretty sure that apparently it's not designed to really help the driver get an extra.
Say again?
I'm really sure that the penalty is not really designed to help the driver that it gets put onto.
No, in a sporting context you wouldn't have thought so, would you? Because
no.
It's supposed to balance out the fairness of an advantage being gained, so therefore, yeah, the whole idea is to actually balance out an unfairness, an advantage that's been gained, and negate it so that it's fair for all the others who didn't break the rules. That's the idea of it, yeah. Yeah, so it certainly makes sense in a sporting context. But Brams, nonetheless, is still running in P5 just ahead of ZX10 as they come down the long straight. But ZX10's got the DRS here, and it's going to be getting closer and closer down towards that final corner. It's going to breeze past with relative ease here up into 5th place. We come into the final corner now, and Brams is still right there with ZX10 as they go side by side here through this final corner. And just managing to squeeze back in front there is ZX10. Brams, though, with the DRS. Down the straight we go towards turn 1. It's going to look back to the inside now, but ZX10 goes late enough on the brakes there to hold the position around the outside on those harder tyres. Now the point is coming where those tyres are the same age, and potentially now the hards are now going to start to become the favourable tyre over the mediums at this point in the stint. When you've got two tyres that are the same age, after about 8 or 9 laps, the hards start to become more favourable than the mediums. Obviously, it's not the case in a battle with Bo and Super Striker, because Bo's got 6 lap younger tyres, but with these guys, there's only a 1 lap tyre delta in terms of the age of the tyres. So
but look at the gap to them.
Yeah. It's very, very tight here. Sniper C is looking pretty close on the back of Brams. He's going to look to the inside now.
Ahead.
A little bit too far. No, he's not.
Nope, I'm okay on my screen it was.
He's still second at the moment, but he's getting closer down the straight. And I tell you what, he's closer this lap than he has been on previous laps. 0.3 of a second as they come to the end of the straight here. Now he's going to have a chance into turn 1 potentially. Look at this. This is oh so tight here. Bo didn't get a great exit there coming out of the final corner. Super Striker's a little bit too far away coming into turn 1. You have to be basically right up the backside to make a move into turn 1. But the crucial thing is that he's going to have a fantastic chance down the first long straight if he can stay close through these corners. But this is the part of the track where the medium tyres are going to have that advantage. And Super Striker now on 13 lap old tyres. Admittedly they're hard tyres, but the hard tyres, not the quickest tyres when they're brand spanking new. And these are done 13 laps. But nonetheless, they're coming through into the first DRS zone, and I tell you what, I'll be surprised if Super Striker doesn't make this move here. He's within 0.4 of a second before they even get to the DRS zone. This is surely going to be the lead going here for Mark Bo. Super Striker getting that closing speed closer and closer and closer and closer, still a little bit too far away. And Mark Bo's going to survive for another DRS zone. Misses the apex a little bit there, though, as to come through into the stadium section. That was a close call there for him, because a little bit wider, and he could have been way out of sync there, and Super Striker could have got the cutback coming through the stadium section itself. But for the time being, Bo is clinging on to this one. Super Striker, again, is going to have DRS. This time, he's surely got to get it down here. The gap's 0.3 as they're now opening the DRS now. This has got to be a routine move here for the Alpine. Surely this is going to be job done. No.
Well, for me, right now, it's quite hard to tell what the gaps actually are, because everyone's jumping out like someone that's got ADHD.
Yeah, Ian's got a bit of lag going on at the end of his on his side at the moment, but Super Striker making a move or having a look to the inside into turn 1, a little bit too far away there on Bo at the moment. Bo still continuing to hold on. This is now the final lap of the race though, so it's all or nothing. As Super Striker just been holding back a bit down these DRS straights, knowing that he needs to be in the right place at the right time, maybe trying to time this attack here on the back of the race leader. Mark Bo has been leading since the start of the final stint, obviously hunted down Super Striker on fresh medium tyres. Now though, as the stint wears on, the hard tyres starting to go off a little bit, and Super Striker's hards coming back to him a little bit here. Despite having done 14 laps, the hards can go 20 laps easy without any problems, as now he's got the DRS down towards the stadium section we go. He might just be a little bit too far away. Is he going to go for a lunge? Doesn't think of doing it here. If he's going to go for a lunge, surely the sensible place would be that final corner. Through the stadium we go again. This is getting heated now though, Ian. This is it. This is for the race win.
Well, I'll say I don't know exactly what part of the straight they're on. Well, it looks like my connection has just sorted itself a little bit, but
here we are then. So Super Striker getting closer and closer with that DRS. Hey, look at this. He's getting, oh, it's so close. He's going to make the move to the inside now. This is for the race lead on the final lap of the race. Super Striker down the inside. Bit of contact there as a bit of bodywork goes flying. But he's made that move and he gives the position back there. So Super Striker clearly thought that he had taken that position unfairly. Mark Bo comes around the final quarter to take the win here at Miami with Super Striker over in second place. Sportsmanship there from Super Striker. Was it necessary? I don't know. Soggy Cucumber comes over to take third place, completing the podium. Best of the rest here tonight. It's going to be Northover to take P4 as the battle for P6 continues on between Brams and Sniper C. Northover 4th ahead of ZX10 in P5. Brams manages to take 6th in the end, although the penalties change everything up here. Brams P5, ZX10 is 6th with Liam over in 7th. The penalties absolutely dropping Sniper C out of it here. Steely in 8th. Sniper C down to 9th. With RDBCFC taking the final point. Super Cowgirl in 11th. Meldav comes over to take P12. In fact, Jordan Hillier gets ahead of Corey into 13th on the penalties there. Corey 14th. Murph is coming through the final part of the lap here down the back straight here for the final time will be P15 very, very shortly. Youngie's also still going as he's coming under the highway now down that long back straight. Archie's AI has crossed the line a lap down in P17. But Murph coming over the line here to finish in P15, and Youngie will be the last driver to finish the race here into the final corner. Bit of a lock up there, but Youngie will be the last driver over the line here to take P16. But what a race that was between Bo and Super Striker. They put it all on the line there, and Super Striker gave it everything he had. It made the overtake into the final corner, but clearly thought he had forced Mark Bo out of the way there, and very sportsmanlike led him back through. Whether or not he should have done it remains to be seen, but I've got to say, fair play to him for, if he was in the wrong, then I'd say top marks for sportsmanship there. But nonetheless, that is that for the race. Unfortunately, I kind of had to cover the end there because Ian couldn't see what was going on because of the lag. So hopefully that'll be sorted for the next round. But nonetheless, we'll see you all for the next one. Join us, Red Arrows will be back next week at the same time as always, 8 p.m. UK time. And it'll be round 4 of the season next Monday, which obviously we'll be very excited for when it comes around. And round 4 of the season will be at Australia, so at Albert Park for that one, which obviously was the season opener in the real life F1. But we'll see you all then, as always, next week for round 4 from Albert Park. But if you want to join us tomorrow on the Motive Racing channel, join us tomorrow for Purple Sector round 7, which will be from Imola, and also round 8 will be live on Thursday from Monaco, and both of those at 8 p.m. UK time on their respective days. But thanks everybody, and we will catch you all very, very soon indeed. Good night.
Good night.